I get a feeling it's going to be a riot.
I don't read the newspapers because they all have ugly print.
At the starting of the week, at Sunday talks, you'll hear them speak. It's only Monday. Negotiations breaking down. See the leaders start to frown. It's more than Monday.
We are back with another edition of your favorite morning show, The Daily Dose on the Gorilla Radio Network.
You'll be sitting, taking lunch. The news will hit you like a punch. It's only Tuesday.
What's happening?
Ask your doctor if the Daily Dose is right for you. Common side effects include sarcasm, informed opinions, and wondering how the hell these people got elected. The Daily Dose starts now.
What's happening?
Good morning, everyone out there in the internet land. How are you doing on this beautiful Friday morning? Let me adjust this camera because it sucks right now. That sucks even worse. So there we go. It is Friday. Hopefully everyone is having a great Friday morning. Last day of everyone's work week. I know it's everyone's favorite day of the week. So enjoy yourselves today as you celebrate not having to go to work in the morning tomorrow and just being relaxed and maybe lounging by the pool, having a couple of brewskis. That's what the kids call them, brewskis. Yeah, so there you go. So it's the 31st of July. It's the last day of the month. And like I said the other day, the year is just flying by, uncontrollably flying by. It's amazing how fast it's moving. It really is. But, before we know it, it'll be Christmas. And then it'll be another new year again before we even know it, which is incredible. So, yeah, there you go, everybody. Lord have mercy. Then I'll be 51 next year, which is even better than 50. Looking forward to that. Got a good show lined up for you today. We're going to talk about a few different. It's Scumbag Friday is what it is. Basically, I can't hide it. It's Scumbag Friday. We've got people cutting people's hearts out with knives. We've got entire families charged with the murder of their children. We've got feral pigs being sent to unsuspecting eBay customers. Then we got fathers going to prison for years. So yeah, it's another edition of Scumbag Friday. I'm claiming Friday as Scumbag Friday starting today, July 30th. Local weather report. This report comes out to you from Palm Harbor, Florida. So like I always say, if you don't live here, fuck off.
To coastal Pasco and Hernando counties. Otherwise, taking a look here at the drought monitor as of yesterday's update. No major improvements again this week. So you can see the kind of persistent, severe, and extreme drought for most of the area, and then up into Citrus and inland Polk counties is where maybe we've seen a little bit northern Polk counties, some of the severe drought having backed off to moderate drought. That's about it. So that's why we're looking forward to more of these elevated rain chances to stick around throughout the week ahead to continue to combat drought. So here's a look at future radar through today. I think we're going to kind of see something similar to yesterday, where a lot of the moisture pools in and builds in from the north, kind of bringing us that scattered coverage through the midday into the early afternoon before washing off to the south and east really for the evening hours, leaving us fairly quiet through later tonight. Keep in mind there is a persistent low-end flood risk today and tomorrow area wide, and then that does back off a little bit for Sunday, but either way likely to maintain. And I wouldn't be surprised if they bring back that flood risk for most of the area into Sunday as well, because of upwards of a 60 to 70% chance of rain. The mostly cloudy skies sticking around, but that helps us out, keeps our highs in the mid and upper 80s. Coastal.
That lady's got a weird voice. I bet when she text messages somebody, or when she talks to somebody rather, she uses like text talk. You know what I mean? Oh my God, I can't believe the rain is coming in. OMG, FML, it's raining outside. Oh my God. That's funny. Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah, that's what she seems like to me. But I'm sure she's a very nice person that just talks with text messaging intent. Moving on, this biker thing is crazy. I just stumbled across this morning. This doesn't have anything to do with Scumbag Friday, but I definitely wanted to go ahead and play this. Apparently, there was a car involved with a high speed pursuit in Los Angeles, if I'm not mistaken, and then all of these bikers get involved with this pursuit unknowingly, I would assume, and it's like one of those big mass biker takeovers, you know what I mean, when there's like 40 or 50 bikes and they're all doing wheelies and standing up on their seats and stuff and doing all sorts of crazy nonsense on the roadway. It just happens that they're doing it and there's a high speed pursuit in place while they're doing that, and everything is caught on camera. It's crazy. It's crazy.
10 freeway.
Whoa.
And now we're back
my
on the
God.
freeway, guys. Back on the freeway, LAPD with a full pursuit package. Now chasing this suspect on the Harbor Freeway, guys. You've got bikers now in the mix here. They probably have no idea. Who knows? Maybe they do. But no helmets on those guys. They are coming very close to this suspect, and anybody who comes who encounters this suspect just has no idea, other than the sirens blaring, that this is a dangerous driver that is speeding up the freeway now. You can see not too much traffic in his way on the 110.
That was in LA.
I'm not quite sure the outcome, excuse me, of the high speed chase because I just caught that one little clip, and I wanted to show that part with the motorcycles going crazy while they were driving down the street. So I'm not quite sure. I'm sure they caught the guy, but that little clip that I showed doesn't talk about it any further. I just thought it was pretty wild with these bikes doing the wheelies. It's one more view of that.
10 freeway.
Whoa.
And now we're back
my
on the
God.
freeway, guys. Back on the freeway, LAPD with a full pursuit package. Now chasing this suspect
That's so crazy. These idiots are out on the road just literally causing chaos. You know what I mean? I don't condone their behavior, nor do I want to be involved with that. But they're out there just kind of driving around doing stupid shit. And unbeknownst to them, they have no idea that the helicopter's flying overhead, filming them as they're doing it, and they're being reported on the news live as it's happening. That's the funny part about it. I actually got caught up in one of those one time. I was in Chicago driving down Lakeshore Drive, I believe is the name of the street. And we were heading to the downtown from our location in the city. We're heading downtown. And just out of nowhere, like all these little mini motorcycles came out of nowhere. And when I say there had to have been 100 of them, they were as far as you can see forward and as far as you can see backwards. I was not driving. My wife's sister was. And, it was a crazy experience. You kind of panic when you're involved with that because they're doing the exact same thing that these guys were doing. They're standing up on their seats. They're popping wheelies. They're up on their front tires doing endos is what they call them in the biker world. And they're just doing that going down Lakeshore Drive where, it's like a 6-lane highway on either side, maybe 7. It's a massive, massive artery that goes through the entire city. And these idiots are just on their bike. And it was rather crazy. It was a little scary. Thankfully, we made it out with no problem. But I mean, again, that's one of those situations where I'm like, God, I just want to see one of these fucking idiots just slam into a wall, catch on fire, and just burn to death. That was definitely one of those situations. In that situation, I'd like to see several of them do it, and I would just laugh as I drove by and say, "You had it coming, you fucking moron." But it didn't happen. I didn't see it. I don't know if it happened later in the day, but when we were involved with it, it did not happen. So yeah, that was something else. But it looked exactly like that on that clip with the guys just up on one wheel and, just doing all sorts of nonsense and craziness. But that was in Chicago, Lakeshore Drive. Moving on. Now, we're going to start Scumbag Friday. And we're going to start it off by a lady that killed her father and then cut out his heart after she killed him. You heard me. Wow.
A warning about this next story from Northwest Indiana. Some of the details are disturbing. 32-year-old Serena Dolnix is charged with killing her father, then cutting out his heart. Porter County prosecutors filed charges after finding Gregory Dolnix's body Sunday in Valparaiso. Court documents say she stabbed him several times. Serena Dolnix waived her right to an attorney and spoke with detectives. She's being held without bond.
What could have happened to that lady in her life that would make her go after her own father, stab him multiple times. And if that's not bad enough, cut his heart out of his chest. What could that guy have done to her? And who knows, maybe he was a horrible person, you know what I mean? And maybe she had just had enough at that point, but that's just amazing. It's amazingly disturbing is what it is, that a human would have that ability to do that to their own father that didn't birth them, but that brought them into this world, with his seed. Come from miles away to bring you my seed. Thank you, Will Ferrell from Step Brothers. Yeah, so I don't know. It makes you wonder what the hell happened to that lady. Where did life take a bad turn for her? She should have went right, but she went left on that four-way stop. She should have went right and just kept on going and never looked back. Yeah, so there you go. That's a disturbing story, to say the least. And then we're going to immediately roll into our next disturbing story. Now, this story is even more disturbing. Well, it is, it's disturbing in a different way, I guess, but it does involve death, and it involves the death of a child and a family that was responsible, an entire family responsible for the death of this child, which is crazy.
Breaking tonight, 3 people on the Treasure Coast now facing felony charges after a 3-month-old's death. This is a story we've been covering since August of last year. Reporter Ari Heidt is live for us in St. Lucie County. Ari, you're learning more about those charges today.
I am, Shane, and I was here last year at August of 2025 when this 3-month-old boy died. He was living in this trailer right behind me. At the time, as you might imagine, neighbors here were very upset. They wanted to know what happened. Well, here we are now almost a year later, and that boy's mother, grandfather, and the grandfather's girlfriend are all facing charges in connection with the boy's death. So let me now go ahead and show you who it is that we're talking about. Again, that boy's mother, Nicole Maxwell, her father, Robert Maxwell, and his girlfriend, Vicky Kuhn, all now in jail charged with killing the 3-month-old boy. Again, this all happened on August 20th of last year here on Silver Stream Circle in Fort Pierce. Robert Maxwell and Vicky Kuhn had rushed the baby to the hospital where he died. At the time, police said it appeared the boy was a victim of neglect. Now they say the medical examiner has determined the boy died due to a combination of dehydration and malnutrition. Essentially, the baby wasn't getting enough food or water. Nicole Maxwell, Robert Maxwell, and Vicky Kuhn are all now charged with aggravated manslaughter of a child and aggravated child abuse. Bond for all 3 of them has been set at $1.5 million. That's the very latest. Reporting live in Fort Pierce, Ari Heidt, WPBF 25 News.
Here we go again. All right, here we go again. Now, these 3 pieces of shit are going to go to court, and they're going to stand trial. And they're going to obviously be found guilty. And this court proceeding will be drawn out for a lengthy time, as they usually are. And they're going to sit in jail as we pay to feed them, as we pay to shelter them, and as we pay to make sure that they're kept alive to go and stand trial. Why? These people immediately should be executed without any delay. They need to be executed. There's no reason why they should be allowed to breathe the same oxygen that 3-year-old baby or 3-month-old baby was trying to breathe while it took its last breaths. You know what I mean? There's just simply no reason for it. Yet these scumbags, these pieces of shit, are going to be left to go and face the judge and the jury and either be found guilty or not guilty of a crime that they obviously have done. And we have to take care of them leading up to that point. And if they don't get the death penalty, because I'm not sure if they have the death penalty where they're located, then we have to shelter them. We have to feed them, and we have to maintain them until they die naturally behind prison walls. It's amazing, this justice system. It's incredible. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I don't know why it's not done the way that it needs to be done. These people are 100% guilty. They didn't give the baby food. They didn't give the baby water. Yet they're still allowed to live after the baby died due to their negligent actions. More so intentional than not, I would imagine. Incredible. Welcome to Piece of Shit Friday. Hopefully these stories are uplifting and they're making your day start off well. This is Piece of Shit Friday. Let's move on to a bit of a funnier Piece of Shit Friday. These pieces of shit worked for eBay, and they didn't like what these two older folks had to say about eBay's practices. So they decided to just take some stuff and randomly ship it to their house, and then have those people surprised when they open the packages to find all sorts of good stuff that they did not buy from eBay. I can assure you that. Maybe they liked it. I don't think so, though.
This morning, eBay has agreed to pay nearly $56 million to a Massachusetts couple after several former eBay employees targeted and harassed them with bizarre and gruesome deliveries.
So much anguish, so much conflict.
This bloody pig Halloween mask was just one of the items that Ina and David Steiner received at their home, along with a funeral wreath and live cockroaches and spiders.
We don't think that anybody should be stalked and harassed because they are speaking out online.
The Steiners run an online newsletter that was often critical of eBay. Back in 2020, 7 eBay employees were charged with harassment, including an alleged plan to hide a GPS tracker on the Steiners' car. Most of the defendants pleaded guilty. Some were sentenced to prison.
It was difficult and it was painful. It has definitely left scars, but we couldn't live with ourselves if we didn't take this as far as we physically and humanly could.
eBay condemned the harassment and apologized, saying it was wrong, reprehensible, and should never have happened. The company adding it's now strengthened its policies, procedures, controls, and training consistent with the company's ongoing commitment to uphold high standards of conduct and ethics.
It has changed who we are, but I think that we'll see more normal days ahead.
Part of the settlement.
Two things. If I would have gotten that bloody pig mask, I'd have been like, wow, somebody sent me a bloody pig mask. I love this. Thank you so much, whoever it came from. Second thing, who in the hell still uses eBay for anything? You know what I mean? When's the last time you bought anything from eBay or you heard of anyone buying anything from eBay? Yeah, I guess people are still using them. I don't know. I mean, Amazon, is a much better outfit with better logistics and less wait time. Obviously, if you're a Prime member, you order something at 9 o'clock in the morning and it's at your front door by 3 in the afternoon. Why would anyone still use eBay for anything? And those guys that were walking with the suits on that worked for eBay, when I first heard this story, I was thinking this probably just some kids that work in the warehouse. You know what I mean? Some stoner kids that are like, hey, man, this will be fun. Let's get high and send a bloody pig mask. No, these people look like executives. I mean, they're dressed up. They're wearing suits. I mean, they look like professionals, business professionals. And these are the masterminds that sent the feral pig mask and the cockroaches and the funeral wreath to these two people's houses. It's kind of a funny shitbag story, but at the end of the day, I'm sure they were terrified. When that old lady opened up that box and, she thought maybe she got a gift from her grandson or her granddaughter, and it was a bloody pig mask. I'm sure her heart probably skipped a beat, I would think. But yeah, I don't know. That's just a crazy scumbag piece of shit story. So those people, they're not as big as a piece of shit as the previous two stories, but they're definitely on the top 3 list so far. Since we've covered 3 piece of shit stories, they rank at number 3. Now, after I play this next story, they'll more than likely get bumped to number 4 because this is my 4th and final piece of shit scumbag story for Piece of Shit Scumbag Friday. I can't remember the original name of the Friday that I said in the beginning of the show, but as the show progresses, the name of the Friday seems to constantly change. I think it started with Scumbag Friday, then it just turned into Piece of Shit Friday, and now I just said Piece of Shit Scumbag Friday. So I'm not sure what name I would like to go with moving forward on these Fridays, but I will tell you that it will be one of those 3 unless I decide to say another name after this clip is aired, which I probably will because I can't remember what I just said 30 seconds ago, let alone 13 or 19 minutes ago when the show started. So here we go. This is a real scumbag. Scumbag Friday. I think that's it.
Your Honor, we understand the gravity of this situation. 4 people are gone, and nothing the court can do today can change that. But the question today is narrower and in some ways harder. What does justice require when a father's negligence and a son's concealed intent meet on a single morning? This court has heard from the son himself and how completely that intent was hidden from the father.
Law enforcement came to his house because his son had searched how to kill your dad on the school computer. 2 years later, in 2023, law enforcement again came to his house because his son had threatened to commit a mass shooting at an elementary school. And at that meeting, law enforcement asked him to restrict his son's access to guns.
My heart aches for everyone that was there that day, for all of you that have been impacted by it. But the law requires that I set aside emotion. I don't get to sentence with passion. I have the nearly impossible task of sentencing you without passion, despite the immeasurable heartache that you've caused. For each of the murders in the second degree, I'm sentencing you to 15 years in confinement concurrent with one another. For each of the involuntary manslaughters, I'm sentencing you to 10 years confinement concurrent. For each non-merging cruelty to children, I'm sentencing you to 10 years in confinement concurrent. For each non-merging reckless conduct charge, I'm sentencing you to 12 months confinement concurrent. This is an aggregate sentence of 15 years in prison.
Yeah, so that's the father of the Appalachia school shooter from I think it was last year, if I'm not mistaken. Now his son, the shooter himself, just got sentenced to life in prison. I believe it was yesterday or the day before. I think we talked about that. And now the father is being charged with criminal negligence or something along those lines. Well, obviously he's got a ton of charges put against him, but the big one got him 15 years in prison, and all of the sentences for all of the different crimes that he's being convicted for run concurrently, which means that they all run together at the same time. So if you got 15 years for this one and you got a year and a half for that one, if you got 3 years for that one, he's not doing more than 15 years because they're concurrent with each other. Now I don't know moving forward in this scumbag piece of shit Friday if he takes the cake of the winning scumbag piece of shit. But I can tell you that if I were to rank the pieces of shit on this piece of shit scumbag Friday, I would probably put the murderous family number 1. I would put the heart cutting out lady at number 2. I would probably put the father of the school shooter at number 3. And that would ultimately bump the eBay pig face sending people to number 4. So that would be my order: 1, 2, 3, and 4. Family, heart, father, pig face. I'd love to hear from you guys listening today and see what order you would rank those folks in. Biggest scumbag being number 1, less of a scumbag being number 4, in that order. So if you'd like to participate in that, please just send me a comment in the link. And we will analyze, and we will talk about that on our next broadcast. So yeah, that's it, guys. Piece of shit scumbag Friday. And you heard it first right here on the Gorilla Radio Network on your daily dose. Now, it is Friday, so you know what that means. It's the last day of the week. I'm ending my show strong. I'm ending my week strong. I won't see you guys until Monday. And I'll be chomping at the bit to get back behind this microphone over the course of the next 2 days. Follow us on all social media outlets: Facebook, Gorilla Radio Network, Instagram, Gorilla Radio 47, or you can like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at OG Gorilla Radio. And of course, you can watch all previous episodes at your leisure on any of your favorite podcast networks: iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. What's that other one? Clear Channel, right? Clear Channel? Is that what it is? iHeart, Clear Channel, Amazon, Spotify. That's it. You can listen to all of our previous broadcasts on any of those networks as they air daily after the show airs. So, you guys enjoy your weekend. All right, got to get to the bus stop. That's it. Go have some cocktails over the weekend. Relax, don't drink and drive, and certainly do not run from the police like that guy in that one video. Have a great weekend.
Driving on the highway, cruising so fast, I want time to fly. Fun, think about fun. You know what it is. I got this, you got this. My friend is by my right. Hey, I got this, you got this.